family, welcome back to another one. If you're new here, I'm Autism Mom. On this channel, we talk about autism and everything in between. If you'd like to be part of the family, click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know whenever I post another video. So IEP is the topic for today. What is an IEP? IEP stands for Individualized, my accent, Educational Plan. So if you're not familiar with this, you will be soon if you have a kid with special need. Most of our special need parents are aware of this because we deal with this on a yearly basis as long as our kids are in school. So if you're new to autism world, you just got a diagnosis, you might want to start getting familiar with some of these acronyms because they're a lot. So the IEP is developed to ensure that a child who has a disability identified under the law receives specialized instruction. So here's an explanation of how that goes.
Now, an IEP, or Individualized Education Plan, is a plan or program developed to ensure that a child who has a disability identified under the law receives specialized instruction, accommodations, and other related services.
Okay, so the next topic is, who is eligible for an IEP? Here we go.
Let's discuss the eligibility requirements for an IEP, or Individualized Education Plan. To be eligible for an IEP, a child must have one or more of 13 disabilities, including specific learning disability, or SLD, other health impairment, Autism Spectrum Disorder, or ASD, emotional disturbance, speech or language impairment, visual impairment, which includes blindness, deafness, hearing impairment, deaf blindness, orthopedic impairment, intellectual disability, traumatic brain injury, multiple disabilities. The disability must affect the child's education performance. In other words, an eligible child must need specialized instruction to make progress in school.
So now, what are accommodations for an IEP?
Accommodations for an IEP, or Individualized Education Plan. Now, they're similar to a 504, but include one large difference. In other words, accommodations for an IEP include the same accommodations as a 504 plan, and an IEP does include specialized instructions. Now, examples include a self-contained classroom option, or different therapy options are also available.
So as you may know, there's always a battle between parents versus the school system when it comes to IEP meetings. They have all these memes out there of parents going to IEP meeting like they're going to war. But this is what it's about.
Why does it seem most IEP meetings end up being the school system versus the parents? Your ideas of what could help your child are quickly thrown out the window as the other members of your child's IEP team overpower your thoughts with acronyms, industry jargon, and systems which require a special ed degree to understand. At least this is the perception of thousands of parents throughout the US today. Here's what I've learned. There are three sides to every single scenario: yours, theirs, and the truth. The toughest part? Children are the ones caught in the middle, with neither side willing to understand the other's point of view. Emotions are redlined, and the listening ability we all have is dormant. Both sides only want to get their point across. Too often, neither one is willing to step back and fully understand the other. As a parent, you are your child's best advocate. You know them better than anyone and truly want the best for them. As a teacher, school psychologist, aide, speech therapist, or other member of the IEP team, you want what your experience is telling you is best for the child. Today, I'm going to talk about three things that can literally change the dynamic of IEP meetings everywhere. They are simple in theory, mildly challenging in practice, but can instantly course correct your child's educational path. Number one, listen. Turn off your emotional need to speak. Turn off your insatiable need to get your point across and simply listen to what the other party has to say. Understand entirely their point of view, their ideas. Ask questions calmly until you have a complete understanding of the direction they're recommending. I know this isn't easy, but to get to the truth, you have to completely understand the other person's side. Number 2, absorb. Once you thoroughly understand the other person's point of view, let down your defense wall and simply absorb the ideas presented. Will you still feel the same way you did when you entered the room? Maybe. However, there's a possibility, almost a probability, that if you give the other side a chance, your thoughts and ideas may change, even if it's a small amount. And finally, number 3, agree, reiterate, then explain. Once you've listened, asked questions, absorbed, and recalculated your views, begin by agreeing. Okay, I can hear you right now. But Luke, what if I still think they're wrong? That's okay. The reality is there has to be something that was said that you agree with if you did the first 2 steps in their entirety. It could be something small like, I agree my child can use more focused assistance with reading. If you start by agreeing with something, the people you're speaking with tend to have a lower defense wall, thus are more prone to actually listen to what you have to say. When people feel heard or listened to, there's a much higher chance that they too are open to listening, not just preparing for the defensive. It could go something like this. Thank you for your explanation regarding my child's reading challenge. I agree that something needs to be done to further assist him in this area. I really liked how you outlined the additional XYZ steps the school could take. What are your thoughts on trying something like ABC? I've noticed that strategy works quite well with our after-school tutor. Now, I admit that could be a little formal, but hopefully you get the idea. This approach is much more likely to lead to a discussion rather than an argument. However, it's vital that you keep all of these steps in mind throughout the entire meeting. When the IEP team members answer your questions with their ideas, listen, absorb, then agree, reiterate, and further explain. As I said in the beginning, getting your redlined emotions under control is not easy. I get it. I've been there in IEP meetings myself. However, working together as a unified IEP team will always garner better results than the me versus them approach.
All right, I hope this video was helpful and that you have a better idea of what this IEP is and why it's so important for your child and how to be an advocate for your child when it comes to IEP. If you have any comments or questions, link them below in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.